All right, so this is a single arm press and a few of the scales that we can do for them. You get the dumbbell up on your shoulders. You wanna make sure that this is always braced like anything else that we do. And then basically, you press. Now the idea is once it goes up overhead, you wanna lock out the elbow, keep it racked right over the middle of the body, or sorry, right over the middle of the foot on that side. And then you just come back down. That's it. So brace and press. The tendency is to wanna twist with this. Try to resist that. That's part of the strength that we're going for here. So it's bells on your shoulder and press it up. This can be done with a kettlebell. This can be done with a dumbbell. This can be done with your hand. This can be done with a metal plate like this guy right here. You can take it as light as you need to. You can take a small child, put it in that hand. Just make sure you got a good grip on it. But that is a press. So this is a sumo deadlift. Sumo refers to the stance and where you're grabbing the object. The stance is on the outside in a sumo stance. The bell, dumbbell, kettlebell, small child, whatever it is, it'll be on the floor. And the idea is that you're setting your back like you would in a deadlift, meaning keeping it nice and flat, and then picking it up off the ground. So you get a nice flat back here, pick it up off the ground. The weight is in the middle of the foot, more towards the heel than anything else. The back is nice and flat, and you stand it up. Now, if you are less flexible through your hamstrings, you might have to bend your knees a little bit more to get down there in a better position and lift your chest up. If you're more flexible, you can have a little bit straighter of a leg. But remember, the big thing we're focusing on is that low back and doing your very best to make sure that you're not reaching with your chest forward. Can you show them what rounding the back would look like? So if you were rounding there, that's not what we're looking for. You want to lift the chest up, flatten out the back, stand up. But this is a sumo deadlift, and what makes it sumo is the wide stance and the bell being between the legs. So this is a front rack carry, and this can be done a single arm or it can be done double arm. We're gonna show you single arm. You pop it up on your shoulders, you hold it on the shoulder here, you brace through the stomach the same way you would do anything, and you walk. Now you would walk with this, whatever distance we have you going, or you can do a carry hold, so just a hold. So you put up on the shoulder, you brace through the stomach, you get the elbow in a good position, about 45 away from the body, and you just hold it there. Now, initially as you're holding, it might feel like, oh, I'm not getting anything from this. But then it starts to feel good. So make sure that you're focusing on bracing correctly and not letting your body deviate too much in this. And that is a front rack carry. So this is a halo. It can be done with almost anything. We're gonna use a little plate here. You can do it with a kettlebell, a dumbbell, a bagel, whatever you need to do it with. But the idea is that you get a little resistance and you go out and around your head and do a halo, a circle out and around. Now you're gonna do a certain amount one direction and then a certain amount the other direction, whatever we list. Now you could do a reverse on each one, so go out and around and then stop and then go back around the other direction and just count that as one, half the reps, whatever it is. But the idea here is that you're not manipulating your torso too much, you're not reaching for it. Yeah, you don't need to add the pelvic thrust in there. You're just looking to get the shoulders nice and warm, out and around the head and come back. Don't be macho about this and use some super heavy, inappropriate load. Just go out and around, come back. Watch your man bun if you have a man bun, or your lady bun if you have a lady bun, and looking to circle that head like a halo, the halo. So this is a windmill, and we're gonna have 3 versions of this that we're gonna do, and they're kind of varying in difficulty, and that just kind of depends on your level of flexibility. The first one we're gonna show you is with a bent knee. So you take a wider stance than you normally do, you pop a weight up overhead, you look down your arm or up your arm, however you wanna view this, and then you basically bend one knee and reach to the side. So it's the opposite side that you have up. You reach down, you try to touch the foot or the ground, and then you stand back up. Now on this, you can try to keep this other opposite leg straighter. If you need to take a wider stance to do so, you can do that, like Cheryl just did there, gangster Cheryl. But you're looking to get a stretch, the hips push back, the weight stays balanced, and you also have to keep some spatial awareness and some pressure up into the object that you're carrying here. The heavier this gets, the harder it becomes. Another way you can do this, I actually find this maybe slightly easier for me personally, is to keep a straight leg on that side. So same wide stance, but you run your hand down that thigh and you send the hips back. Now this gets a little bit more of a hamstring stretch depending on who you are, or maybe on the inside of the legs. But for me, I find the balance is a little bit better there, and that's an easier one for me. Now the hardest of all these is touching in the center of the body. So twisting a bit with the torso as you go down, sending the hips back, staying balanced, and then standing back up. It requires the most amount of mobility from the shoulder, most amount of balance, most amount of flexibility. Give it a shot. These are not something you move fast through, and that is a windmill. So this is an overhead carry, and we can do this once again, single arm or double arm. We're gonna start with single, show you that, and then we'll show you a double arm. And we're even gonna show you a double arm with a dumbbell. It's gonna be great. So here's what we got. Single arm overhead carry, you basically put the arm up overhead, straighten out that elbow, try to keep the rib cage tucked down and not lean too far any one direction. And the idea here is you just walk. You walk with it up overhead and you'll, yeah, the march in place. You could do a march in place if you want. A way you can scale this is to just do a static hold here, holding it up overhead, keeping the shoulder engaged, pushing into the load, and kind of resisting any sort of movement through the body. Again, this starts easy and then gets really hard. You could do the march like we just showed there, a overhead carry march, or you can actually carry it and walk around should it be nice and beautiful where you're at. That's a single arm carry. A double arm carry is taking one dumbbell, popping it up overhead. Whoosh. And again, this can be done with one dumbbell or two dumbbells. So you could have one dumbbell in each arm, which is nice and dirty. This is with one dumbbell total. And you lock it out overhead exactly the same way, trying to keep this shoulder open, the rib cage tucked down, not popping that butt out the back. This is a little hard if you have tight shoulders, but it's a great movement. Try to lock the elbow out, hold it up overhead. It burns good, like Cheryl was showing there. But again, you can do that as a march, a carry, or just a hold. This is a bent over row, and there's a number of ways we can do this. You can do it with your legs, even with each other, and just bend over and hinge at the waist. Go in one arm and just pull this up to the torso there. Or you can do this where you take kind of a lunge stance, kind of athletic, put the hand on your leg to support yourself and pull it up all the way into the chest there. Or you can put your hand on a bench and you can pretend that you're out on a bench here like this, lounging, put your knee up, put your hand up, and get the row in like that. Super gangster style. Whatever you gotta do, we're looking to get the body as flat as possible and pull all the way to it. Try not to let too much twisting happen. It's not like a body twist going on in there. And also as you're doing anything, keeping that back nice and flat. Try not to round out, make it like a weird monkey bent over row thing. Bent over row, not bent over monkey grabs coconut through hole. Bent over row. This is a goblet squat, or as I like to call it, a joblet squat, because I like to mispronounce things. Now, you can hold it on either side, like she's doing here, with one hand on each side of the dumbbell, or you can hold it with the dumbbell hanging down like a chalice that you were drinking out of. Picture a goblet in medieval times, and you're doing such. You can also do this with a kettlebell, you can do this with a plate, but it's essentially holding something that's a single object between the chest here. Then from there, you squat all the way down, keeping the same points of performance that you would for a squat, getting the full range, getting the knees tracking, all that fun stuff, but you just hold the object in front of said body. Joblet squat. This is a farmer's carry, a single arm farmer's carry. We can do this double arm, or you can do it single arm. Again, you can carry anything. You can do a plate pinch, you could do a dumbbell, you could do a kettlebell. There's all kinds of fun stuff. But the essential thing that you're looking for is making sure that that bell stays at the side. You stay braced through the stomach, and you're not doing too much twisting. Now, if you talk about really high level guys who do this really, really well, a lot of times they'll actually cave their upper back and hold it here. Do I need you to do that? Nah, let's just go ahead and stay as upright as possible. Resist that caving in the upper back. You shouldn't be carrying enough load to really make that happen to you. If you do, just go ahead and put it down and take a little rest. But we're looking to basically hold it at our sides and walk. Now, if you don't have the ability to walk, meaning you don't have, it's like cold in your area or something's going on, you can do a single arm hold. Again, these static holds, they feel like they're gonna be easy, and they end up being not easy after a solid, 8 seconds. We also have a march, like she was showing you there, a farmer carry march. But yeah, they get awkward. This is a farmer carry. Now, if you've got big old monster hands, you can also take what's called a hook grip, where you grab your own thumb. That'll make it so your grip doesn't work quite as hard and allow you to walk a little bit further distance. Totally up to you how you do that. Enjoy your monster fingers. That is a farmer carry and its variations.